So, what I've tried to do here on this farm, obviously tried to offer some water where there isn't water. We're up on a ridge, and the nearest water source is going to be probably 500 yards away. So tried to offer water where there wasn't. What I also really focused on is I don't have one big food plot or two big food plots. I've got them scattered all over. And they may range in size from an acre to a quarter acre, but my thought process, and I want to run this by you, is that I wanted to have, if you will, distinct food plots, so that maybe a 3-year-old buck calls this area his home range, and there's another 3-year-old that is really close to that home range. I wanted to separate them if all possible, rather than have the two of them kill themselves or chase, one beats the other one up and he heads over to the neighbors. So what I've done is I've, just got a bunch of different food plots spread out on the farm with that theory, if you will, that hopefully this one 3-year-old will move over to this plot, and they're not always constantly in each other's face.
I think you are absolutely nailing it. You are hitting something that virtually everybody misses. Social stress is so much more damaging to whitetail health than we ever give it credit for. As we were talking earlier, if you ever want to test that theory, go ahead and take some ratty 3.5-year-old shed you found. Try to break off one of those tines. Just a tine.
Yeah.
Okay, now imagine that 4.5-year-old with those soda can bases.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you've seen it before, where they snap the whole beam off.
Yeah.
The amount of force that is required to do that is mind-boggling. Even when that buck wins that fight, he lost.
Right.
There's so much more mortality over that than we ever give it credit for, and at the same time, what ends up happening is you can only hold so many deer on these properties, so many bucks, specifically mature, dominant bucks, the ones that we want to hunt.
Right.
So by creating these extra holes, by having that food source there, that other one over there, that other one over there, does that now mean you can hold 3 mature bucks on here? Potentially. It doesn't always work out as cut and dried as we'd like,
Right.
but now at least we have the ability. If those 2 bucks are fighting over this one here, the loser, well, he can go over there and he can be safe.
Yeah.
Rather than have to go over to the neighbors,
Yep.
to their farm field to be safe. And the other thing I noticed that you're doing out here, which is awesome, is one of the problems that most people have is, okay, I got me a Antler King Trophy Clover was on sale down at Bassmasters, so I picked up 2 bags. So I'm going to go to the back corner of that field, and I'm going to go ahead and put in that food source. That's good and great, but how are you going to get into it?
That's
without
a good point.
exploding everything?
Yeah.
How are you going to get out when it's dark without exploding? What's your safe wind direction for hunting it? Do you have a pinch point you can set up in? Or do you have to hunt all the plot? Putting in that level of thought, which is exactly what you've done out here, is a big difference maker, real big.
Yeah, and that, you learn that over a period of time, that a plot is only as good as how often you can hunt it. And if you can only hunt it once, because you just booted the deer off when you went in and you booted them off when you went out, it's probably a one and done. And so...
Well, there's in print media, which print and TV, you hear over and over and over and over again, just to nauseating levels, that the first time in is the best. Well, why is that? It's because we are blowing these locations up. If you can get into that stand, if you can hunt it and get out without a deer knowing you were there, guess what? You weren't there. It's going to hunt every bit as good tomorrow as it did today, and the day after that, and the day after that.
Great point.
Access and departure and hunting. I mean, a lot of people believe you can't hunt on a food plot. You can't. You need to hunt in the trail. The reason they believe it is because they're right in their specific situation, because they didn't set up the food plot so they could hunt it. That does not happen by accident.
Right.
It happens with careful planning.
Yep. No, good point. all very valid and all things that I think that I've learned over the years, and you obviously have learned over the years.
Well,
So,
we both learned from the exact same school. We went out and made mistakes.
Yeah.
I often think that my product is nothing more than really teaching everybody else from my own mistakes. Because if there's a mistake to be made, I've made it at one point or another over my life.
you're not the Lone Ranger, but I guess at least we have learned something, and we've learned from those mistakes.
Exactly.
But I want to talk to you. I've done some hinge cutting down here, and I just kind of want to get your feeling on it and so on. So let's go take a look at that.
Sounds good.
Okay.